Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.
We are live, baby, live. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio, NCAA Net Profit. It's January 19th, Wednesday. Max, how you doing, my guy?
I'm doing well. I'm substantially wealthier than I was yesterday at this time. So I'm happy, and that's what makes me happy. Money. Lots of it. Because I got hosts to pay for. I got meals to fucking feed myself. And those beautiful people at Popeyes, Chicken, all over Toronto need to see me on a regular basis. So we got to help make that happen.
No doubt. I can't wait. It was a good night for me as well last night. I'll run through mine real quick and then just run through anything you want to touch on. And that, man, I got hooked. I thought Niagara was the team that needed to score points. Manhattan, who's been in the 70s and 80s, just need another bucket there. That hurt. Loyal Chicago. Maybe I didn't need first half. Thank God it pushed. Full game winner. Miami won. Late night, Florida State took care of business. That game went over. We talked about. And the play, it won the lean I had with Richmond Fordham that I kind of liked. I backed off. It won. So it went way over 83-70. So there was a few other plays last night, the Fresno game. So a few good winners out there, Max. Just go over last night. I know Wisconsin took care of business for you, but anything else you want to touch on before we get into the line movement, brother?
I'll just say this about Wisconsin. Johnny Davis, if you like watching premier talent guys that are bulldogs, he was an absolute bulldog. I'm surprised the dude didn't get teed up for fucking tossing around those elbows, but he was brilliant last night. And I think that when we talk about the D-Gen game of the night, Fresno State was the D-Gen game of the night. If you're a live bettor, I am very jealous of you because that is the one game that I did not live bet. And you probably made a shit ton of money doing it. There was crazy numbers apparently available. I've gotten DMs all day about Fresno State. And listen, when you come back at home the way that you did, shutting down Justin Bean on the scoreboard, it's impressive. And tip my hat to Fresno State for hanging in there and really playing a classic tale of two halves.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to everyone in the chat. I got to give it shout out. As you see, the hashtag WeBePubbin, just put that in the chat. We're going to have a drawing at the end of the show to see who wins. Is it 50 or 100, Big Show? 50 bucks?
$100. We'll have a live wheel, like a live
Hundo
right up on the screen at the end of the show. So stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. $100.
Can't beat that. I mean, all we ask for is a like and a subscribe. But like I mentioned, go tell some other people, or don't. Actually, go tell other people in there. I know everyone wants to win the $100, but we want plenty of people in here. Put hashtag WeBePubbin, Rax. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Let's shout out Jeff Slaughter for making this happen. This is a true boss. Wants to put out good content for you guys to be making money, and all he asks is that you guys come in, tune in for the shows, and you can actually win $100. Think about that. Some people, it takes them more than 8 hours to make $100, and you can just tune in the show, and by chance you can make $100. That's called a fucking damn straight good deal for everyone.
It makes me feel good, Max. You know, I'm kind of under the weather today, and I hope we, get through the show. I'm trying to get through in best spirits, but that makes me feel better because I love, give $100 away. Hashtag WeBePubbin always gets me hyped. The Dono does. Slaughter giving away this shit always gets me hyped. And yesterday was a good night. Winning should get them hyped. So everyone in the chat, let's keep it rolling. But before I'm going to hit your first game, let's hit the chat real quick. As I said, the best chat in the goddamn game, as I always throw out every day. Sam Calmer, my guy, Polly Walnuts, T-Mac, Taylor MacArthur, Nick, what's up? Michael, Dan Kelly, what's going on, my guy? Saturate, what up? Andrew Cole, Peter Nguyen, TC, ATL, Cashman, 19. Good to see my guy Cashman in here. It's been a minute, my guy. Clayton Smith with 19. What's going on? Billy Brisbane, Row Your Boat, Cheshire Cat, Bill McDonald, Ray Vasquez, Colton Cordoba? Yeah, Cordoba. I think I messed him up before. Cordoba. Colton Cordoba, baby. Cordoba. Kenny V, Joshua Chipman, Jay Peasy up in this Heezy. Jake, Rovo, Ronnie Barton, our guy in here. I'll keep rolling. I think that's about everyone. Rem Most, if I didn't mention. Rem Most, Joe, Bill McHugh, Suit Panties. What's going on? Nico, a guy. Crystal Warren, how are you doing, Crystal? It's great to see you in here. Brian Grant, Matthew. Remember, if you're just getting in, hashtag We Be Pubbin'. Put it out. As you see in the bottom, $100 drawing into the show. If that can't get you pumped up as we go through this card, what will? Let's get right to the games, Max. Let's get to your first one here. Maine.
Connor, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. We got to go through the line moves first.
Oh, sorry. Thank
No
you.
worries.
See,
You're under the weather.
I'm under the weather. It's flying right. I'm right into the shit. Hit the line movement, brother.
We need a quick dose of gravel shipped over to you in a little freaking pill container that they give out at the hospital wing. But I'll tell you this, listen, there has been some volatile action going on with some of these lines. We've seen favorites get juiced up. We've seen totals go the opposite way that we expected. And I'll start off with the first game on the slate. We got a 2-point line move in favor of the home team. We've seen Mississippi State open up as a 4-point underdog. They are now 6. So they are looking very tasty, a very bougie $7.50 cupcake, not a $12 cupcake, but possibly a $7.50 cupcake. I think that when we look at a game in the A10, a game near and dear to everybody on the East Coast, GW in St. Joe's, that total has gone up from 143 to 147 or 147.5, and it was expected. St. Joe's can put up offense, and George Washington, it's really going to be on them to dictate what happens with this over or under. I think that when we look at another spot that's definitely had a little bit of movement that's interesting to everybody in the chat right now is St. John's going from a 5-point dog down to 3.5. Is this too low of a number to still back them? That's going to be the question to find out. I think that when we look at LSU and Alabama, we've seen a slight move, but with two teams of this status and this freaking quality on both sides of the basketball, it is interesting to see a number at 4. So, hopefully, if you are on Alabama, you did get in early. And if you're on LSU, you must be salivating and being able to get a full point better than you were able to this afternoon. I think that when we look at another ACC game with Georgia Tech and Wake Forest, this is the total that I did expect to go up. It went and opened at 140.5 and is now at 143. And I think that that is the right move with Wake Forest and Georgia Tech getting Rodney Howard and possibly Bubba Parham back into the lineup tonight. I think that when we look at another total in the ACC, we cannot ignore what has been going on in the Virginia Tech NC State total. This is the second of 2 matchups, I believe, Connor. You'd have to correct me if I am off on that point. But with a total opening at 139 and now down as low as 135, it is very tempting to jump on a first half over in this game and then live bet depending on what kind of pace and scoring tempo you're going to see. I think that in our next game that I'm going to talk about, LaSalle and Rhode Island, this is a game that definitely can fly over based off Rhode Island's elevated scoring production the last couple weeks. But at 139 down to 136 or 135.5, the market has spoken. I think that when we move on down the slate, we have to take note of the TCU Oklahoma State game. This total opened at 130.5, got as high as 136, and now has come back down to 132.5. So definite U-shaped line movement, and you have to play your number in a game like this and not worry about what's been going on with the line history. All right, Connor, I'm just going to go through a couple more, then we'll get into my games and get rolling. Yeah. Another total that is important to take note of is the Kentucky-Texas A&M total. Yeah. In my opinion, based off the line move, it is really changing my perspective on whether the over or under has value based off my metrics and my betting model. We have seen Xavier open up as a 7-point favorite, go down as low as 5, and now get as high as 8. So a lot of indecision with that line, and that's completely based on one factor. Javon Freeman Liberty is a game time decision tonight, and if he doesn't go, I think that Xavier is going to be serving some real cold cock soup all over DePaul's home floor. And aside from that, Connor, there's just one more game on the main board that I'm going to go over in our line moves, and that is the San Jose State Wyoming total, opening at 140 down to 137 or 137.5. The correct move, in my opinion, because while we may see a high-scoring game early on, we have seen Wyoming be very capable of clamping down in the second half and therefore being able to keep a full game under when the first half went over.
Definitely great breakdown there, Max. On the line moves, you got them all. I was going to mention the Kentucky one, but you've touched them, really all of them that I was looking at. Let's get to your games then. You ready? Let's get to your first one.
Here.
Maine, UMass Lowell here. Lowell's laying a big 13.5. Totals 131. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, this is a game where I think that Maine has a little bit of value when it comes to being able to score. I think that with UMass Lowell, as long as this game is close, there is going to be fouling at the end. Both teams have been known and are on my fouling late game list. So I do expect that if Maine can stay in it, they will challenge. What's been more interesting with Maine has been their elevated scoring. We've seen this team go over in 6 out of 11 games, and this is with a very poor offense without a double-digit score on this team. I think that it's going to come down to your starting backcourt of Byron Ireland and Jashante Wright McClesh tonight to perform and give you that elevated scoring and get to the free throw line. Because while Maine's numbers may not impress you when it comes to their ranking within the Division I level, I do think that when you watch them, they get a lot of calls from the ref. They have a good ability to get inside the paint. And when they shoot those 3-point shots, a lot of them are at the top of the circle at the beginning of the shot clock. So it gives a lot of opportunity for extra possessions that we're not necessarily used to with this team. They are missing Stephen Ingo. They are missing Leakin Duhart. If they get either of those guys back, it's a huge boost for them. However, I just think that they got good size with Chris Yafrui down low. He's a 7'1" guy. And with this backcourt, I think that Maine can get over 59 points and get to 60.
Excellent. All right, Max, let's get to the second one. Shout out to the chat. Hit the hashtag We Be Pubbin'. You want some cash? Who else is doing that out here? Hashtag We Be Pubbin', baby. Nobody out there. Guaranteed. So I don't want to shit on anyone right now, but let's get to the next game. Campbell versus Longwood. This game is interesting to me, Max. Very interesting. Longwood's laying 2 at home. Total 130. I automatically think under with this game. What do you think here?
Yeah, that's the way that I'm looking also when I attack this game. These are two very good defenses, with the exception that Longwood's offense is head and shoulders better. They can score from all 3 levels, and that's what Campbell's going to really have to be able to do, is suffocate them, take them out of rhythm, and really turn this into a rock fight. Otherwise, it could get out of hand in favor of Longwood. I think that with the Lancers, this has been a very good bet on team at home, especially on short numbers like this. However, with Campbell, you're playing a certain element that you don't come across very often, a team that has played together for now, I think 3 years. And with Cedric Henderson and Jesus Carolero and Ricky Clemens, Jordan Whitfield, all these guys understand how to play with each other. They understand their limitations as players. And we've seen that reflective in their freaking shot output. When they go inside and they don't settle for 3-point shots, they are a very dangerous underdog team, whether it be on the road or at their home building. I think that they do get off to a couple slow starts, so that is an area of concern. If they fall behind, can they come back versus Longwood team? I think they can, but I think that the better play is to ride with the under. I think that when you look at the end of the day, this is a Campbell team that does not want to get into a high-scoring affair with you, and especially on the road. So under 130, love that.
Yeah, I agree. There, kind of zoned on that right away. I think we got. I like the number. I think it could have been a little bit lower to see a little bit of value. I think that could have been 127 or so, 126. Let's get your next one, Max. Vermont's lane 14. NJIT totals 133.5. Vermont playing well, but laying a big number here on the road. Can they get it done? Or are you looking at the dog here?
Listen, I think that with Vermont, the difference for Vermont has been the fact that Finn Sullivan has erupted offensively. 2 straight games of 19 and 20 points respectively. It's been the difference in Vermont's scoring. And I think that if it can continue tonight against a team that they probably want to beat, and they want to beat badly. Let's not forget that NJIT eliminated Vermont from the America East Conference tournament last year. And it was pretty big upset. So I guarantee some of the pubbers were all over that shit, cashing big tickets and supporting local strippers the way that God intended them to. And I think that with this Vermont team, they got a lot to prove on the road. I think that this is an opportunity for them to get some revenge. Coaching staff hasn't forgotten about this loss. Ryan Davis hasn't forgotten about this loss. If Finn Sullivan can stand out and be the X factor that he's been the last 2 nights, I don't see why Vermont can't cover this game. I think that the better play, though, is to back and over. I think that this is a spot where we're going to see fouling, we're going to see emotion, and we're probably going to see teams in the bonus early. So I don't normally like to take overs with both of these teams involved, but with the emotional messaging that I'm seeing from interviews, I think that this is an over game.
Okay, excellent. Let's get to the next one. High Point, 5.5 point favorites against Charleston Southern. You got a total right around 137.5 most everywhere. A few 137s. What's the look here?
Yeah, for me, I middled this number. I hit it on the under 138. I hit it on the over 134. So I've been tracking this game pretty closely the entire day. The difference with High Point this year is the fact that John Michael Wright doesn't have to do it on his own. When Zach Austin and Jaden House are contributing offensive freaking producers for this offense, this team can route teams very easily. Can they do it on the road? This is going to be the test. And against Charleston Southern, how can you not want this kind of test? This is an offense that I think that they're going to need outlier performances. Claudel Harris is a guy that I've talked about a couple times this season when I talk about Charleston Southern. He's a guy that has to come up with a lead role scoring type game. He's the difference maker. I think that Talik Chavez is definitely a solid contributor. However, I think that when we look at High Point is going to be able to hit threes. High Point is going to be able to get to the free throw line. And all these things that I just said about High Point are big question marks when it comes to Charleston Southern. Charleston Southern is shooting 27% from the 3 line. They're shooting under 40% from the field. And they're not a 70% free throw shooting team that makes more than 10 a game. I'm all over High Point in this spot, regardless of the fact that they can't hit free throws, because I think that the 3-point accuracy will even out.
Excellent. Before we get to your last one, shout out to the chat. Everyone, hashtag We Be Pubbin'. Get in there. Just write it down. Hashtag We Be Pubbin'. As you see in the chat, $100 at the end of the show. We're going to pick somebody in this chat. So who doesn't want $100? Come on. Come on now. Let's not mess around. Shout out to some people in here. Nuke Worker. What's up, my guy? Good to see you. Aurora. Very irregular. What's up, my man? Rob. Nilo.
You sloot, Nilo. I see you over there. You're in Mississauga. Why don't you get a 416 number, you hoe?
Row your boat. J-Row from Brad Hunt. Jake, yeah, hashtag We Be Pubbin'. Hector, what's up? We Be Pubbin'. All right, Max, let's get to the last one, your last game here. North Carolina, AT&T, UNC Asheville. Asheville's landed 6 here, total 141. What do we like here?
Yeah, this number definitely was a lot sexier early on before it moved to 6. I think that with UNC Asheville, which is going to be a very common themed opinion on the game, is that it's a huge situational rebound spot. North Carolina A&T looks to be coming into Asheville at the wrong time. I think that this is a spot that you want to get on Asheville first half, see how they're matching up with North Carolina A&T, and see if Cam Langley is at full strength and playing starter minutes, because when they have their floor general and their freaking bucket 2-2 on the floor, that guy can really fuck with his eyes open. While he's not going to be the clean offensive scorer, he plays hard-nosed defense. He takes the ball away from your point guard, makes him look like a freaking beta girl. And I just think that UNC Asheville is going to have to bring all the firepower, play full court pressure for half of this game, if not the whole game. And I got to see Drew Timber and Tajon Jones and LJ Thorpe start for the team offensively. Listen, they had some bad luck against Winthrop. They dropped the ball against USC Upstate, and now they got to get back on the freaking horse and ride that shit to fucking meet the lady of the night. So I think UNC Asheville is going to freaking drink a little moonshine, get to the game, put the ball in the net, and cash a goddamn first half play.
All right. I like it. Here we go, Max. Nuke Worker. He's a 905 guy. He said,
oh, my God. Nuke Worker, you're probably a better 905 guy than Nilo is. So we'll have to talk at a later date about this.
Sam Comer, 519. T-Mac, 613.
Guys. Outside, if you're in Mississauga, then there's some controversy. If you're Burlington or Hamilton or Kitchener or Kingston, got no problems. Love those parts of Ontario.
A little history lesson here for Max on who's who, the greater Toronto area. All right, let's get to my games here. I'll be real quick. So I kind of feel like crap here. Mercer, East Tennessee. East Tennessee's laying 4 here. We just saw Mercer beat Citadel. I had that over, Max. It did not come through. This has come down a tiny bit. I got 142.5. Most are at 143. I'm on the over. I'm going back to the over. I think this game's in the 70s. East Tennessee, 4 of its last 5 have gone over. VMI, Western Carolina, Furman, Samford. I think it's more of the same. I think this game's in the 70s with both teams. You know, Mercer averages 73. East Tennessee State, same thing. Both teams shoot it decent from 3, 35-37. They knock down their shots. So give me the over 142.5 here. What do you like?
Yeah, I think that with that spot, you know, Mercer may not have Kamar Robertson in the lineup to go with Neftali Alvarez. So that definitely is problematic for Mercer. I think that with their offense, though, they are just tuned to score. And if James Gilson can replicate his 16-9, I do think that they will be able to do their part. I think that with ETSU, it's going to be critical for Jordan King and David Sloan to maintain and achieve that 42% that they average from the 3-point line. If they aren't getting scoring from those two guys, it's going to put that much more pressure on the Brewer brothers, and that could be problematic and lead to some scoring droughts.
No doubt. Here's my next one. Iowa versus Rutgers. Rutgers +3. You know where I'm going here, Max. I'm on Rutgers. And I like Iowa a little bit. And on the road, they've been okay. Better than I think in past years. They took care of Minnesota. I think we both kind of like them in their last road game. But there's something with Rutgers at home, and they're catching points. I got to take it. I mean, it's just what I do. The last few years when they're on the road, I'm not even really touch them. Even as a home favorite, I don't really love them. They've already beat Purdue and Michigan here at home. Just shots seem to go down when they're at home, and I hope they do tonight because this team can struggle offensively, as we know, really on the road. But hopefully Ron Harper Jr. and all the guys shots drop tonight. I got to take the 3 with Rutgers here at the rack. What do you think?
Yeah, listen, I think that it's all about the number that you got. If you did get the 2.5 with Iowa, you're in a much better position than taking the 3.5 with Rutgers, than taking the 3.5 with them. I think that at 3.5, Rutgers does have the value now, and it's a crazy line that 1 point can make such a big difference in your capping. And I think that when you look at some of this recent history, you know, these guys have played some very close games, especially when they've come to, I don't even know what they call the rack anymore, but they call it something else. I think that this is a game where I want to see high scoring in the first half, and then I want to see a clampdown. But right now, it's just a complete gamble. It's throwing your dice up against the wall and seeing where it freaking lands.
Well, I'm going to do that tonight on Rutgers. Let's get to my next one. This one
Hold
more
on, Connor. I gotta address Remos. Remos, listen, bud. When you dip chicken nuggets into honey and then you have violent diarrhea, I question the location you got these nuggets. Were they frozen? Did they come from freaking Metro? What grocery store? I want to know all this information. Secondly, you got to dip it in a chicken tender, and a chicken tender is only something you can get at a Popeyes, a Cane's, a Chick-fil-A. So let's not freaking play around here, okay? Chicken nuggets are not chicken tenders. Connor,
Max will tell
carry
you.
on, please.
Yeah. This guy's a chicken aficionado. He'll let you know what a strip, a tender, a nugget, everything is. All right, let's get to my third one. I think this more is a little roll the dice, Max, because I'm going against a team here who's just waxed people's asses at home. We're talking Marquette Villanova. I'm going with Marquette. I wanted the 14. There's even 14.5 a few spots. So I waited. I'm taking Marquette. And this is a freight train right now with Villanova at home. But one thing Marquette can do is shoot the rock. I think you know that. They shoot 37% three. We talk about these dogs. One thing I need is teams that can shoot it well. They do shoot it well. They have 2 bad losses this year. I think UCLA by 11, Xavier by 9 on the road. But other than that, they played on the road well. They lose by 9 or 11 tonight. That works for me. I think Morcell and Lewis will do enough here, I hope. And Marquette can cover here. What do you like?
Listen, it's a game. It's a game I'm staying far away from a side perspective. But now that I know that you're on the dog, it makes me want Villanova to cry. I want them to freaking. I want their shoes to come untied when they're going up for a layup, and then I want them to miss those layups. I want Jay Wright to sweat through his suit jacket and for his hair to get messy. It's always staying in the same spot. What hair product does he use? I need to know. I want some.
Yeah,
but I'll tell
perfect.
you this, Connor. I'll tell you this. First half over, Villanova at home, conference game. They're this big of a favorite. If Marquette's going to be cashing for you, they're going to have to put up 30 in the first half. And if Villanova could put up 33,
yes,
that's the first half over. And that sounds like a sexy cupcake party with Dr. Mandy.
I agree. Hey, Villanova at home is a different animal. I think the line is just a bit. It's touching 14.5, like FanDuel and DraftKings. I know a lot of places have just the 13.5, but man, that's a shit ton of points. I think Nova wins, but I don't know if they cover. I like this Marquette team. Just the shots. I think they just shoot it pretty well, and that's where all the other teams like Butler, some of these other teams they play, they can't shoot at all. Let's get to my last one I wanted to talk about here, Max. Bradley Drake. Come on here. Drake, let me be quick here. Drake's 3-11 against the number. 2.5 point favorites, 1 point win over Southern Illinois. No way do I want Drake here. Take Bradley +7. I think they keep this game close. Bradley's a solid basketball team. They seem to beat the teams they can, lose the teams that are better than them. And I think 7's too many. Last year they lost by 7 here, and this was a way better Drake team. And then they beat them at home, I believe. So give me the Bradley Braves here, +7 at Drake. What do you think?
Listen, I think that the news out of the Bradley personnel today has just been Jashawn Henry suffering another head injury, trying to get back on the floor, and it's just devastating for this team. So it's going to be interesting to see how much emotion they come out with. But when you look at Bradley, it's a pretty simple formula. You got to freaking push tempo. You got to get up and down the floor, and you got to have 3-point shooting. And that starts and ends with Terry Roberts. The junior is phenomenal. He needs to get more love. And I'll tell you, Brad Hunt, Bradley fucks with its eyes open. And as men, not speaking to the women in the chat, speaking to the men in the chat, we need to fuck with our eyes open. We need to see what we're doing when we're doing the act. Our brain sends the freaking blood flow to you know where. So it's like, come on, guys, open your eyes, enjoy what you're freaking making love or having sex with. Be like Sharpie. I want to be like Sharpie. I want to be like Trey. I want to bang 5 different women a week. So you know what? We got to get some more winners. We got to talk some more games. And hopefully Bradley is going to cash for Conor, because you know what? Conor is toughing it out here. Jeff Slaughter is giving away $100 to someone in the chat at the end of the show. This is Pub Sports Radio, baby. And you're here and you're in the clear.
Couldn't say well better. This man picks me up when I'm in need. No doubt. Get all you guys' questions ready for the rest of the games. Load them up. Hit me up with, give me the side and total. The number always helps me out, please. But first, let's get a word from our sponsor, and we'll be right back. Here we go. If you're in the San Antonio area, go to Southtown 101, get drunk, sing some karaoke, eat some great wings, fucking burgers, have a good time. Go to mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports, use the Bitcoin, put 1,000, they give you 1,000, and go to manscaped.com, 20% off, get the full kit and caboodle, get the whole thing, Lawnmower 4.0 and all the good shit it comes with in a leather bag, the whole thing. Great product. Go to manscaped.com, 20% off, promo code PubSports, and get your pub rub. Go to pubsportsradio.com. Get it. Rub it on your meat. Shit's amazing. Chicken, ribs, shit's off the chain. Cop a shirt while you're there too. Pubsportsradio.com. Max, let's get to the games. Let's power through this. Let's get to it, my guy. Real quick. Let's get to this first one I saw. Army, American. Starts pretty soon here, 20 minutes. Army's laying 9.5, 10. Total 137. What do you like here? You on mute?
All right.
There we go.
With American tonight, Conor, Army's going to have to be on point because Stacey Beckton, Connor Nelson returned to the lineup last time out, and they defeated Bucknell by 8 in a grinded out defensive style game. I think that we see a defensive style game tonight. I just have to say that after seeing American make jump shots with their best players in the lineup, what's the biggest knock on them? When they don't hit jump shots is when they get hurt. They're going out on the road versus a very confident and a team that's put some units in our pocket, so we can definitely play with them again. I think that Army is going to be led by Rucker and Caldwell, and with Duhart in the lineup being able to facilitate and rebound the basketball, you know, I look for a guy like freaking Thomas Dove to come off the bench and be an X factor. The big man's going to get some minutes. He's earning some playing time, and with his natural size, he is a perfect fit at the 5 to play alongside Charlie Peterson. So I think that this is an Army spot, and I am comfortable laying this type of number at home with Army.
Okay, no doubt. How about T-Mac wants to know Boston College +7. Now use 7.5 basically everywhere here against Louisville. Do you trust BC on the road?
I think that BC got a huge boost when they got Brevin Galloway back into the lineup. The Charleston transfer is instant offense off the bench, and I'm sure that he will usurp a starting position quite soon. I think with Boston College, the best way to play them in this game, in my opinion, against Louisville, who is inconsistent shooting the jump shot, is to take Boston College first half, try and get a 4.5, and play the game from there. You always should have a little bit of money set aside for a live bet, and this is one of the games that you're going to probably need a live bet for.
Excellent. How about this one, Max? LSU, Bama, they're laying 4 here. It's up to 4, total 148.
You know, obviously I have a feel towards this Alabama first half having to come out with some fire, but this LSU team and that defense is going to make or break this game. I think that when we look at the total, it is something that I want and project for LSU to score the basketball. Can they get to that 72, 73 point plateau? That's the biggest question for me. If they can, I think that they can win this game outright. However, with Alabama, with their back up against the wall, I think that they got to come out strong and they got to give you a strong first half. And with a number like this, it seems reasonable to back the Tide. It's just the defense on the other side is monumentally better.
Excellent breakdown. Yeah, it's a tough one there. This LSU defense has been really good, so I lean under, but they just played so many overs the last few years. How about Citadel Wofford? They're laying 13. This total is 148 as well, Max. What do you think here?
Yeah, this is a tough game. I have no bet on this game. I think that when we look at Citadel, they have to play a more up-tempo game. I think that when they're trying to get to the 70s and they're not getting into the 80s or close to 90s, that's when they're at their worst. Wofford is a team that they can freaking really allow to run up against, and I think that they're also going to have a much easier time scoring against them. I think it's a little bit of I think it's too big of a number for Wofford, even at home as a favorite, and I would have to be looking Citadel, but it's not a bet that I've laid, and it would just be like a basic lean.
Do you have anything in this ESTU game? 3.5, it's 4.
Originally, I was looking at ETSU as a first half play, but then I found my way. I can't remember what numbers I was looking at, but I was looking at something that convinced me that Mercer first half money line was the way to go. I think that now with some of the personnel issues for Mercer and not knowing the status of Kamar Robertson, that definitely has made it a little buyer's remorse on my part. But right now, the thing that I'm on in that game is Mercer first half.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate it. Put the hashtag We Be Pubbing. Giving away $100
in like 18 minutes, Connor.
Man,
18 minutes.
Very soon.
You can lie down.
Very, very soon. St. John's Creighton. How about this total, Max? Obviously, Creighton's favored by 3.5. I believe total 151.
Yeah, with Creighton's defense and their ability to clamp down and their non-prolificness from the three-point line, which we're just not used to seeing with Coach McDermott Blue Jay teams, it has to be a spot for St. John's. I like St. John's in the spot. I think that St. John's, if they're going to win the game, well, they're going to have to push the tempo early. I think that the first half over is the way that I want to play it. Both teams are contrasting when it comes to the numbers, so I feel like the bookmakers literally just split the averages, and when they do that and you have a betting first half model, it comes really in handy. So I'm going to ride with the first half over for this St. John's Creighton game and then give myself to maneuver in case I'm dead wrong on
it. Okay. How about this one, Max? New Hampshire, Hartford. New Hampshire's laying 3.5, total 133. Do you got to play in this one?
Yeah, listen, I split this game. I view this game as it may be a little bit of a slow start for Hartford, not playing in almost a month. However, with Tracy Carter running the show for like the 8th or 9th year, I don't know how the guy's still in college. I wish that I could be in college for 9 years. But I just think that with this group, Moses Flowers, DJ Mitchell, freaking Shriver also, these guys can score the basketball, you know. I just think that it's a matter of how long it takes to work off the game rust. And unfortunately, that may be too late for them to have a chance at winning the game because I think that New Hampshire is uber talented this year. I like the size that they have. I like the versatility of their lineup. And I like freaking Blondie Tuchikamongo. He's a solid freaking player from Montreal, Quebec. So obviously I'm biased to him because he's a Canadian. And he is a guy that plays with a lot of heart and effort. He's almost giving you freaking 11 points a game. He's giving you almost 4 rebounds and 4.5 assists. The guy is a baller, a difference maker, and when he's facilitating that offense, New Hampshire can get to the 70-75 point plateau, and if they do that tonight, they are going to cover the spread.
No doubt. Even got the name spot on, Max. Killing it. All right, Loyola ND versus Boston University. They're laying 2.5. Do you have anyone in anything here?
Yeah, for me, I was on Loyola, Maryland on the overnights. I didn't really see a metric that really convinced me of Boston U's advantage. Loyola, Maryland has a lot of front court depth that they can throw out at Boston U. And with Boston U, while they are athletic and have a lot of length in the wing positions, it just hasn't produced the type of scoring efforts we've seen in the past. I think that with Boston U having to get fully healthy, not having their full complement of players definitely impacted them, and being the number one ranked preseason Patriot League team, it is surprising to see them not winning more of these games and winning them by margin. I think that with this Loyola Maryland team, though, the difference is you have experienced guards in Kenneth Jones, Jalen Andrews, and Cam Spencer. Cam Spencer makes the difference for this team, and if he has a 25-point game at home with those friendly confines and those sight lines, yeah, I think Loyola Maryland's going to be serving the cock soup, not slurping it.
That's always better. You want to be serving, not slurping. Real quick, 65 first half in that Nova game, Marquette. What do you think? Someone's asking. That's getting up there. You had 63, right, or 63 and a half?
No, I had 66 written down, so 65 66. Is great.
Okay.
I think that's definitely an obtainable number.
Okay, Max likes it. Row your boat. What about Auburn here laying 22 against Georgia? You laying it? We're looking at the dog.
I'm actually not doing anything on the side. I saw some really freaking smart cappers and some smart metrics to back it up on Auburn's team total over. And I think that's the way that I rather attack the game. I think that Auburn's going to win the game by 24, 25 points. I just think that the team total, even though it's in the 85 to 87 range, has a little more value in my eyes.
No doubt, no doubt. Aubrey Griffin, LSU, money line lock. I like the LSU money line.
Love the fire.
Just we don't do locks around here.
Because locks have keys.
Locks have keys. Preston, someone bet Florida. Let's get to that game right now, Max. Let's just get to it. Mississippi State, Florida. They're laying 6 basically everywhere. Let's get 6.5. Go ahead. Total 137.5. It's come down a little bit. Mississippi State playing a bunch of overs a little bit lately. What do you think here?
I don't see a reason not to take a shot with an underdog if you're up. I think Mississippi State can go in and win this game. I think that they have the better game-changing scorer. They have the more talented and more physical front court. And with this Florida team, sometimes they miss a lot of open jump shots. And that's a problem for me. Coaching matters. And I don't think that Coach White has the advantage here. So I look at Mississippi State.
Yeah, Mike White, he's in trouble, man. Let's just say that. He loses tonight. He is in trouble. And I think Mississippi State had a decent shot to cover in that spot. A lot of money on Florida, though, as we've seen. I think they're going to bounce back here at home. What do you think, Max, in this one? Indiana State, Southern Illinois. Southern Illinois is laying 4.5, total 135.5.
I worry about Southern Illinois having an emotional letdown from the Drake loss. Marcus Domask had absolutely the most brain-dead play I've ever seen a collegiate basketball player make. He literally freaking put in a career game of like 41 points or something, and then he was the reason why they couldn't get a shot off with like 5 seconds left in the game. It was Yeah, absolutely. That is the perfect sound effect for that. It was brutal. Luckily, it helped us cash. So who gives a shit at the end of the day? But I'll tell you this, True. Southern Illinois got some business. They got some work to do. I don't like backing them as a favorite, but I just think that they are the MVC darling for our bankrolls as a favorite, as an underdog, and especially on their home floor with a line that's under 6 points. So I definitely like SIU. That's what I'm on in this game.
All right, Max. Jake wants to know, Jake Burns, TCU +5 versus Oak State, total 132.5. What do you think?
I think that with the total, that's where my intrigue lies mostly. I think that TCU is definitely a really good teaser spot. A couple guys that I really freaking admire are using TCU as a teaser. I don't usually bet a whole bunch of them, but tonight TCU seems like a team that if you freaking teased up with 5.5 points, it'd be pretty freaking nice for you. So I think TCU with Mike Miles is definitely the difference maker. You have a lot of depth, a lot of physicality with guys like Xavier Cork and Eddie Lampkin up front. I think that with Canadian and Torontonian and Emmanuel Miller, he's got to be a guy that starts to eclipse some of those Texas A&M scoring outputs. And with him and Mike Miles, then that could be the difference, and that could help this game get over. I think we got to see points. And that's the way that I'm looking at the game. I hate that the line came back down from 136 to 132, but I still like the full game over.
No doubt. If you're in here, hit a hashtag We Be Pubbing. Just less than 10 minutes left. And just if you don't, you got a chance to win $100. Me and Max, we're talking college basketball, baby. And just give us a thumbs up. We need about 10 more to get to 100.
12 more to 100. 12 more.
There we go. 12 more to 100. So, yeah, so if you haven't hit it, baby. All right, Max. Lehigh, Navy. Navy's laying 10.5, total 133. Are you going to lay it with Navy, or has Lehigh got a shot here as the dog?
I laid a worse number with Navy, and I'm standing by it. I don't care if the numbers say Lehigh has a chance. Lehigh, yes, they've been a very good dog. Well, there's an opportunity for that trend to even out. So I am going with the team that is healthy. I'm going with the team that is fundamentally sound on both sides of the basketball. I'm going with the team that has shown a definite propensity to come back after performing poorly in the first 20 minutes. I'm all over Navy, like them better at this number than I did at the number I bet, and I will gladly back the midshipmen. I just wish I had a hat of theirs to wear.
There you go. I love it. Let's get to this one. Xavier versus DePaul. Xavier's laying 7.5. Total's 150. What do we like here? Side or total?
I'm on DePaul here, but now with Javon Freeman Liberty being a game time decision, I will have to buy off of it and then bet the game live. But chances are, like we see most times when a star player is out, that team elevates their performance for the first game and then comes back down to earth the second. So I'll probably end up buying off DePaul. DePaul will end up covering, and I'll end up coming on tomorrow and being like, God damn it, what do I got? Fucking cake in my goddamn ears? I want some cake, though, now that I think about it. Cake.
Excellent. How about this one, Max? Let's get to some of these maybe bigger games before we bounce. Wake Forest laying 2.5. Total 143. Wake Forest, Georgia Tech.
Obviously, with Wake Forest, they are a team that has to be able to penetrate the rim. They have to be able to get to the free throw line and score with the clock stopped. Jake LaRavia has got to be a difference maker, and they got very good size with Kadeem Sy and Dallas Walton at the 5 spot, whether they start or back up or play together on the floor. I think that when you go up against Georgia Tech, you really got to be able to keep a handle on Michael DeVoe, and that is basically bringing pressure on him and not allowing him to get comfortable. This is a very dynamic player with a very good first step to either side. And when you can finish the way that DeVoe can with either his left or right, he is a guy that you have to narrow in on. And in these types of numbers and these situational spots, Georgia Tech has been very good to their backers. However, I think that Wake Forest, even though they may have a look ahead spot to their next game, I just think that you have to take your opponent for what they are in front of you. And being on the road, it's a hostile environment. You're up against everybody in the building, and I think that that's going to allow Wake Forest to at least get off to a good start early. I think Wake Forest first half is my favorite play within the game. However, I'm on both first half and full game.
Excellent. Now we're getting to some good ones. Va Tech laying 2.5. Dangerous little spot here at NC State, a team that's played better than I thought sometimes throughout. This would be a big win for them. 2-point dog. This total's come down, like I talked about, to 135. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, I think that I want to just jump on and just ride with the first half over in this game. I want to see NC State be able to score against Va Tech's defense, and I want to see Hunter Couture really be able to get off his three-point shot, be successful not only in the corners but also from the wings. I think that when you look at Virginia Tech, their front court's going to be able to contribute offensively, and with Keve Aluma, this is a guy that you can throw the ball down to in the second half, and he's going to get to the free throw line. If he can hit his free throws, that's going to be another situation. However, I think that we're going to see points early in this game. And if you can get anything under 65.5, I definitely vouch for it.
Excellent. All right, he's got a question. Kentucky, Texas A&M. I'm not messing with Kentucky in an under. This team's been scoring like crazy. So I'm not touching the total here. A&M's played well. They haven't beat a whole lot of people. They did beat Arkansas at home. I'd be leery. I wish it was a few points more, Max, but I'd be leery of Kentucky tonight in this spot with A&M as a home dog. So I think Texas A&M pretty strong here if you get 7.5 and nothing on the total. Well, Kentucky's been scoring it.
I'll tell you this, Connor. You're definitely on point. I do not think that it's wise, at least for me, to take an under in the Kentucky game, whether it's on the road or at home. I think that the more dangerous thing is that I'm like a drunk Canadian with 2 bottles of Labatt Blue in each freaking plaid per pocket.
Yeah.
And I'm blindfolded walking in the forest taking Kentucky. That's how it really feels to me tonight. I'm drunk. I got multiple beers. I'm blindfolded. I'm wearing a plaid shirt and I'm in a Canadian forest. That means Kentucky, baby. They're going to fucking rout. Let's go, Big Blue Nation.
I got to say, if they keep playing the way they're playing, they will. I mean, they've been scoring. They're really gelling and playing so really, really good right now. Some people, like you, probably think this line's cheap, and I think kind of is too. That's why I wanted more. Texas A&M, not a pushover at home. They haven't beat really anybody. I just couldn't get on it, full here to back Texas A&M, but I lean the points with them a little bit in that spot. Let's hit up a few more before we bounce here, Max. What else do we got? Virginia, Pittsburgh. No, did we touch on that? Virginia, Pittsburgh?
No, we did not.
Let's get to that. Virginia's laying 3.5 at Pitt. Total 115. It should be a little scoring, but can it stay under that 115? What do you think here?
Listen, I think that when we talk about Pittsburgh, getting a Theo Horton back has been absolutely fantastic for this team. Now they have a dynamic trio in the backcourt with Oda Cayley, with Burton, with now Horton. I think that it just allows Hugley to have that much more operating space down low. And let's not forget about Mogi. This team has size. They can play defense. And I think that with this spot, I took the under full game, but I did take the first half over. The 53 was just too hard to resist. All I need is 54 points, and then they can freaking forget how to score in the second half. Please, I want it. I want it like a fat kid wants a 6-pack of donuts. Please.
No doubt. San Jose State, Wyoming. Wyoming's laying a big number here. 17.5 total. 137.5. What do you like here?
Yeah, listen, I'm done with San Jose State like I'm done having sex with women that smoke crystal meth. I'm just not going to do it. Wyoming, first half, full game. I don't care if they don't get off to a good start. I do think that their defense will win out in the end. And San Jose State, listen, they just burned all the bridges with me, so I'm just not fucking with them like I don't fuck with any meth hoes.
I think that's about it. Is there another game maybe you want to go over, Max? Because we are about, or is there a big game we missed? Because I think we touched it all. Is there a game you wanted to?
I think as far as the big games, we've pretty much hit them all. I'm just running through to double check. The only other game that we hadn't talked about. Sorry, go ahead.
Colorado State, New Mexico. They're laying a big number here.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking to get on Colorado State first half, if anything. Otherwise, I'll probably just pass on the game entirely from a side perspective. Okay. I think that the one game I wanted to talk about, we may have not talked about it, was the Ryder-Quinnipiac game.
Yeah, we didn't. No.
Okay, so go ahead. I think that with Quinnipiac, they may be at a serious advantage if Dwight Murray doesn't play for Ryder tonight. I'm still waiting on info about that, but I've already gone ahead and bet Quinnipiac, anticipating that he's not going to be in the lineup. The injury that he sustained, I think it was to his hand. I think he smashed down on the scores table last game out. So I think that he actually hurt himself like that stupidly. And if that's the case, now it holds him out. I think that Quinnipiac, with their guard depth, and being at home, and then having Kevin Marfo in the middle, that's a pretty good combination for a 6-point win.
Excellent, no doubt. That is it. Remember, hashtag we be pubbing. Put it. We're about to do the drawing. I say we do it right now, or do you want to do our pit? You want to do it right now, Big Show?
Go ahead and do your best bets, and
Okay.
that'll give everybody a little bit more time to enter we be pubbing exactly lowercase.
Lowercase hashtag row your boat. Just hit it. So did Mark. Shout out to Mark. What's going on, my guy? All right, Max. Give out your best bet or a few bets, whatever you're doing tonight. Give a shout out to the chat. So will I.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to this card tonight, I want to do a 5.5 point teaser as my best bet. I want to take LSU. I want to use them because I think that even at 9.5 points, it is a game that they can freaking keep close, unlike Iowa State last night. And on the other side, I want to freaking use TCU. While they are a team that I'm a little afraid to back as a full game underdog, I do think that if you get double digits with them, it's key. I think that when you're betting teams down, it's a little problematic, but I think that betting both these teams up is a good combination. And for 5.5 point teasers, usually can get -110. If you bet on one of the legal U.S. books, you probably get a better line than I do on my offshores. But that's the way that I'm going. LSU and TCU in a 5.5 point teaser.
Okay, LSU, TCU teaser, two-team
Yes,
teaser. All right, let's get to mine here. Rutgers at the rack. Take them +3. Got to take them at home. I'm taking Marquette, touch 14. There's even 14.5 if you can get it, but I know most people can get a 14. Bradley Braves, +7. I don't trust Drake at all in that one. And Mercer, East Tennessee State. I think it gets up and over the total. That is it. Has everyone got the hashtag we be pubbing in? Let's get to it before we get on out of here.
All right, if you haven't entered it already, there's the hashtag. Go ahead and I'll give you an extra 10 seconds to hit it in the chat, and then we're going to hit the drawing. $100 to the winner. You'll have to DM Pub Sports Radio on Twitter. You guys ready?
Get it. Get it.
All right, here we go.
Oh, look at this. Fancy.
Oh, shit.
Shout out. Nick.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Nick Spiros. Shout out, my man. You have just won $100 cash money. Just, yeah, like Big Show said, go DM Pub Source Radio. We can send it right over to you as the winner. And if he doesn't get to it and doesn't see this, I hope he does. We'll roll it over to him.
Make money. You got to stay the whole day at work.
You got to stay the whole time. Yeah, I don't want to hear any of that stuff. So we'll just do it tomorrow if we don't get a winner there, but we should. All right. Shout out to the chat. It's a good day. It's Wednesday. We need another good one, Max, right?
Absolutely.
One last word. Give it one last shout out to the chat before we get.
Listen, chat, appreciate you guys spending the time with us. Appreciate your contributions in the chat. Great to freaking see all you guys cashing these freaking tickets and all these sports from all these pub sports shows. So keep on supporting the channel, keep on supporting the shows, and I'm sure that these freaking gems at Pub Sports will keep on putting out good content and winners for you to serve your bookies cock soup with. Let's fucking make Gus's life a living hell, and hopefully his girlfriend will come over and have sexy time with me because I already sexted her.
Yes. And give a quick shout out. Jimmy's going to be on later today's show. I'm trying to remember when we have the later shows that are after us, the horse shows on Fridays. Jimmy is on just a little less than 2 hours. NFL Pub Hub. I can't wait to be back on there. Maybe next week. So I'll feel a little bit better. Yeah, go ahead, man.
And they got a absolutely super cast. It feels like Jimmy the Bag is running a goddamn freaking minor league system, and he's freaking getting all of his players called up to the pros. And when you watch the NFL Pub Hub show, it's fucking all pro players cashing all pro tickets. So tune in at 8 o'clock to watch Jimmy the Bag put in that goddamn work with his all-star studded cast. And you can say that about all the shows at Pub Sports. all-stars.
All-star, baby. Well said. Shout out to my guy, Jimmy. Check out the show. Can't beat the NFL playoffs going on. We're out of here, baby. It's Wednesday. Let's get it. He's great. Maxwell Smart. I'm Conor Mack. We be pumping! Peace. Get that cash.